How can years of gaming teach you to live a better life? Coming up in this episode. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to play life better. If you noticed, I said in this episode, because I've been putting a lot of these videos onto my podcast as well. I'm sure many of you don't even know that I have a podcast, but I do. I do. It's called Geek Psychology. Surprise, surprise. You can go to bio.geekpsychology.com and there's a link right there so you can listen to it with your ears and learn to live a better life at all times, not just on YouTube. Although, YouTube gods, I love you, I love you. But there are other ways of reaching out and contacting me and listening to the thoughts that I have. And hopefully those help you transform your life. And that's what we're talking about in this episode, is how to transform your life and some of the lessons that you probably have from being a gamer, a geek, creative, or someone who just really likes, let's say, I don't know which side, Marvel movies and things like that, superheroes, or whatever it is. There are lessons that you can take from any of those domains. And so in this specific episode, I'm going to give you 3 different life lessons that you can gain from being a gamer. First of all, I want to say, like, a lot of people that I've talked to, they think that they've wasted their lives because they've spent so long playing games and they haven't developed skills in the real world, is how I've heard it worded to me so many times. And, you know, I've been there too. I live in Japan. I came here and I was like, anytime I get the opportunity, I'm going to go out and explore and experience something else because I'm here. But eventually it becomes home, right? It loses a lot of that novelty. And sometimes, like, the games would start calling, right? And I would start playing more games, and then it just became a way of life. And I remember having this kind of reality shock where I was like, I've wasted the last 10 years or so. I've had a lot of fun. I've gone out and experienced a lot of things, but I play a lot of games. I was playing League of Legends at that time, and before that was World of Warcraft, and it took up a lot of time. And so I had to reframe the situation and think, what lessons can I learn from those experiences and translate and transfer them into real life? So the first thing that you can know and understand and realize is that there's always another goal. In any game, there's always something that's like compelling you to move forward. Whether it's to build a house or something like that, or if it's to take on a new quest, or if it's just to explore a different area, there's always something that is compelling you to take action and to be at cause in your life. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will say, well, life is happening to me. I don't have any options. I'm addicted to this and there's nothing I can do about it, or, the world is not made for me, or whatever it is. And that's being at effect, as in, everything is affecting you and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So with the mindset that there's always another goal, always some other thing that you are pursuing or taking steps towards, or whatever it is, building, it helps you switch to, like, how can I improve my life? How can I get this thing that I want? How can I have some more fun today, right? How can I learn something new? And even just that mindset is enough to radically transform things in your life. Thinking like, if something is going to change in your life, you have to be the one to do it, right? You have to be the hero of your own story. You have to pursue whatever that is. It's not just going to happen for you. You're not just going to, like, be sitting down in your chair and get hit with your life purpose, right? Going out there and pursuing things and creating things and challenging yourself is where you find your purpose, or where you create it, right? Just as an example. Another thing is you can always level up and gain skills. Within games, right, there's a lot of times there's an experience bar, or there's a level or something like that, something that you are pursuing that is going to transform yourself. It's you playing life at a higher level, right? And that pursuit of the higher level of being a meta state, a way of looking from above at your actions or your identity and the environment, the things that you're doing, is extremely important. And if you just have that perspective, that idea that like, well, there's always a better version of myself that I can aspire to reach, you just kind of feel more invigorated and curious. And curiosity is the key that unlocks so much more potential in your life. Is, what's over there? What could I become? What could you become? What could you change in order to bring out this higher level version of yourself? And it's just an amazing way of thinking about what you're doing with your life and what you're doing with your time and your focus, right? The more you focus on one thing, right, another way is looking at it is like you're leveling up that aspect, right? It's like swinging a sword. Okay, the more you swing the sword, the more experience you get, right, with swinging a sword, and so your ability improves. All right, the more you think negative thoughts, the more experience you're giving to your negative thought, like monster or character or aspects or weapons or whatever metaphor you want to connect to it. And that's going to make it higher level. It's going to make it easier to rely on. It's going to make it stronger. It's going to make it more powerful, or whatever it is. And that is something that requires a little bit of thought, right? It requires you stepping back, having some observing ego, observing yourself, observing your actions and your identity and the things that you're doing in your life. But it's beyond priceless. It's just like, that is what life is made of, in my opinion. And the last one is that each game has its own learning curve and its own strategies for success. Whatever game you're playing, even if it's of the same genre, you could be playing Call of Duty and Fortnite, right? Or something like that, right? And they're different games, right? But they have their own micro strategies within there. And they have their own learning curve to do, right? And in life, it's the same thing. Like if you want to be a doctor, right, that's got its own learning curve and its own set of strategies that are necessary for that. If you want to be the best father, right, that has its own learning curve and its own strategies. If you want to just be a pretty good artist, well, there's still a learning curve. And there's still strategies that you need to learn in order to improve, right? And you can model those strategies. You can, find somebody who is good at it, whether it's in real life, of course, that's the best, or online or something like that. And, think about how they're thinking. If you can talk to them, ask them how they're thinking. What's the first thought that they have when they're doing this thing? What do they see in their head? What kind of like routines and rituals do they have before they perform their craft or whatever it is? And you start to absorb a lot of those strategies. Your mirror neurons begin to pick them up, right? You begin to act as if you are capable of doing the things that they're doing. And it's like such a massive boost of energy and like fuel and power to get you to where you want to be. Right? It's like you just take off speed of light into the next version of yourself, or the more skilled version of yourself, just through modeling and acting as if you can do those things, because you can. Right? Somebody else did it, that means you can do it too. Of course, there are things, DNA and stuff like that does play a factor. But in general, the things that one person can do are the things that you can do too if you just know the strategies. And if you are okay with putting the time and energy in to getting the 10-20% that is most important in order to get the 80% of the result, in order to get that leverageable boost. And each game has its own version of that. Each game has its own rules of reality, its own principles. And just taking some time to analyze the ones that you need in order to learn to play the guitar or whatever it is can take you a long way and can just speed everything up, is all I'm saying. So those are 3 things that I found to be very important lessons that I've gotten from playing games that I was able to translate and transfer into my real life personal growth and self-development. 1, there's always another goal. 2, you can level up and gain skills. And 3, each game has its own learning curve and strategies for success. And if you really want to improve your life and level up and reach more of your potential, unleash more of your potential, go to schedule.geekpsychology.com and schedule a free strategy session, and we'll see if we're a good fit for coaching. And coaching will help you unlock these different aspects of yourself, get past whatever it is, anxiety, procrastination, just being flooded with negative thoughts and doubts and things like that, and help you live a better life. Because that's what you want, and that's what the world needs too, right? The world needs you to pursue the things that are epically important to you. Because that's how all of humanity can level up, because of your gifts, because of your strengths, because of your unique traits and skills within your class. And if you're here on YouTube, let me know down below in the comments what was a life lesson that you learned from gaming, and how have you translated that into personal growth and self-development, because you sharing your knowledge is how we can all level up. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.